Hi there folks, welcome to RRTV. My name's Bernie Wimmers and we're here to cover the Australian Endurance Championship Round 4 live from Monza. And we're in for a 4 hour of endurance racing this afternoon. So I'd like to introduce my co-commentator, as always, Adrian Jarvis. Great to have you here, Adrian.
Hey Bernie, yeah, thanks for that, and hi viewers. Yeah, that's what a beautiful track. Love this track, and we're up for some entertainment tonight. Just checking, I don't think they've got quick repairs today, which is something new for this event, which is going to bring on some entertainment for us, that's for sure.
Yeah, it certainly is, and you're right, there's no quick repairs here for the 4 hour enduro, and I think their incident limit is capped at around about 25. So not sure if they get excluded after that or if they start losing points. But let's have a look at our weather at the moment. Sorry folks, I'm having all sorts of trouble already and we haven't even started. Okay, let's have a look at our weather. And basically it's partly cloudy out there with the wind speed 11 kilometres an hour, but boy, look at that temperature, 42 degrees Celsius. So it's going to be another scorcher out there tonight.
Yeah, just it might be partly cloudy, but I think that sun's been beaming down on that track all day long, and yeah, it's really hot, so boys are finding it really slick conditions out there, and once again it's just like racing in the rain, isn't it? So hopefully we'll get that in the next couple of years for iRacing. They'll be interesting as well.
Yeah, it can't be too far off, but also for the viewers just joining us, the GT3s have already qualified, and so has the Class B cars, the DP, so it's up to the HPDs now to finish, and I'm thinking they're probably in the final minutes of qualifying here.
Yeah, just about 10 minutes to go there, Bernie, for their qualifying session to finish. So because there's three classes here, they actually run 20-minute qualifying sessions separately. So GT3s are the first ones out on track, then the Corvettes, and then the HPD. So you can imagine that each car goes out there, they're starting to lay down rubber, and the track condition changes throughout this whole qualifying session, which is quite cool and a good initiative by AEC here, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, it certainly is, and let's have a look at our point score. We'll get rid of all this housekeeping. So at the moment, after 3 rounds, Team TTL is leading the way on 1,085 points, followed by the Carnet TDR number 137. They're on 970 points. Then we have Evolution Racing Australia, the number 126 car, on 960 points. Then we have Trans-Tasman Racing, the number 177, on 900 points, and rounding out your top 5 is the 118 Redback Racing Team HPD on 810 points.
Not a bad effort there. Going on second and third place getters there at the moment in the championship. Bernie are down the field at the moment. So Team TTL up the top. They're on pole, provisional pole at the moment. Carnet TDR, they're in 6th place, looking at my telemetry, and Evolution Racing Australia down in 16th, so long way down, but it's not about where you start, Bernie. I think it's how you finish the race and how you get through those first turns, especially here at Monza, the first turn. That's going to be a nightmare.
Certainly, as we've seen in previous broadcasts, I think it was the Australian Sports Car Championship, the Corvettes came off very second best, didn't they, through that first chicane, and it took out probably about a third of the field, so they're going to have to be very careful.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a notorious there coming into turn 1 at the chicanes there. They seem to forget that they've got to slow down and get into a really slow corner, and obviously it's an accordion effect, so you've got to give yourself a bit of room. Everyone's diving in there to try and get a pass done, but with 4 hours of racing, you've got to get in there gingerly and try and get through there without too many incidents, that's for sure, and try and get your moves done later on. I know it might cost you a little bit of time, but better 2 seconds than a full car repair, that's for sure.
Oh, that's exactly right, and you know, with a 4-hour race, they don't want to be stacking it, I guess you could say, in the first corner, that's for sure. As you can see, folks, I'm having all sorts of problems with our overlays at the moment, which is absolutely driving me balmy, but hopefully they'll settle down in a minute and we can get on doing what we do best, and that's commentate. Looking at Class B at the moment, that's being led by Evolution Racing Australia, the 228 on 1,050 points, followed by their sister car, the 226 on 1,040 points. In third we have the 200 Synergy Sim Racing on 970 points. Then in fourth the 266 Blackadder Motorsport entry on 940 points, and then rounding out your top 5 is the Tryhards DP, the number 231 on 760 points. So it's looking like there's still a lot to play for in the top 4 of the championship at the moment. And anyone fifth down, they've got a fair bit of work to catch these guys.
Yeah, certainly do, and a nice healthy championship. We are only in round 4, so we've got a few more to go, and it's looking good. So definitely a battle to keep going, and it's awesome to see.
Oh, it certainly is, and while the going is good with my overlays, let's finish off our housekeeping with Class C. So these are the GT3 guys. We'll look at that. The top 4 are BMWs. So Class C is being led by the 399 Delta Sim Sport BMW on 990 points. Then the 333 Mad Cat Racing, I think that's Bessie, BMW on 925 points. Then the 367 Blackadder Motorsport BMW on 905 points. Then down into fourth, the number 300 Pagnian IRFF Racing Team on 865 points. And then rounding out your top 5 is the 314 Selby.com.au Racing entry. It's a rough on 825 points.
Yeah, that poor old rough there for Shelby. That's the last car that they're running, is something that they've been missing. They did love that car, but obviously with the new updates for GT3, it's the last time they're running this rough. So, and I think by memory that there could be a change later on this season to the newer GT3s in this class as well.
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting when that comes through. We've got, for the viewers out there, we have a total of 51 cars at the moment entered in this session. So we've got a huge field here tonight, and it's going to make for some exciting racing out there. As we said earlier, the key point is getting through and surviving that first couple of chicanes and getting into a rhythm.
Yeah, definitely getting a rhythm going. It's a nice track. It's to get a rhythm. You can probably make a mistake in one turn and then gather your thoughts up and get going again. But it's definitely, if you lose some sort of rhythm at some point, it's definitely going to cost you some time. But not like some tracks, that's for sure, Bernie.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. And I saw on Facebook they're looking at redesigning the real world Monza track, so that's going to be interesting. They're going to get rid of that first chicane and make it a straight through that big sweeper there, and then they'll have a chicane just after that.
Yeah, it sort of looks like they're getting rid of the first chicane and then cutting through and then coming back to those the second chicanes, which is quite strange. I think if they were trying to get rid of some sort of chicanes, they could change the angle or of the first chicane there. I mean, it's quite tight, so if they could widen that up, it'll keep the track fairly quick and smooth. But hey, they might be changing it for some other reason, just trying to make a shorter track or something like that. So it'd be interesting on how that develops, that's for sure.
Yeah, it certainly will, but fortunately we'll keep the original Monza here at iRacing. But let's have a look at our qualifying with 2 minutes to go. At the moment, Team TTL's leading the way in the 188, and then we've got Dayco Motorsports just behind them in second. Third is the 115 Nutters Orange. Fourth, the 116 Nutters Green, and then 5th is ANZ Motorsport, the 103. So we've got quite a few interesting teams. It looks like we've got a new team out there too, the 110 Guild of Australian Young Stars. That's an interesting name, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is, and yeah, obviously a new team there, so someone that we can keep an eye on and see how well they go, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely, and we can see now Nutters Motorsport green. They're just off the track in the background, but ABR Team Simulated at the moment sitting in 12th. We'll see if they can improve, and just waiting for them to cross the line now, and they did a 1:38.516, so they're a good 0.8 of a second slower than their best time.
Yeah, sorry Penny, just trying to get a few things up. We're just trying to find a page here from the admin, just to trying to find out some penalties. I do believe there's a couple of teams do have a penalty to start with. I believe they've entered in the practice rounds without the correct number, which is a penalty in this series. If you go into an official practice room that AEC holds, if you don't enter that track with the correct car number or anything like that, they can penalise you, which a couple of teams have. Which I did check on the forums, just having a little bit of trouble with trying to find that page again today, which is unfortunate for me.
Yeah, I've got it up here. So the cars the teams being penalised is the 188 Team TTL HPD. They've been penalised for having incorrect car and team, and they've been penalised with a pit lane start, as well as the Synergy Sim Racing, the 130. Again, incorrect competition number, so they've got a pit lane start. Now it starts getting interesting. All these teams that I'm about to read out for various reasons are going to get a pit lane start plus a drive-through plus a 90-second hold. So that's quite severe. And that is the 133 Tryhards HPD, the 221 Thunder Sim Racing entry, the 130 Synergy Sim Racing HPD, the 132 Tryhards HPD2, the 225 SDC Motorsport, and the 340 Arm Racing. So a lot of them have been pinged for qualifying procedures being incorrect, but the last one I read out, Arm Racing, they had an incorrect car and team number, so they're going to have a drive-through penalty plus a 1-lap hold. They're pretty severe penalties, aren't they, Adrian?
Yeah, they certainly are, but obviously it sends a message out to these teams that you've got to get your stuff sorted and get it right, because this is serious competition, and it is serious stuff. We do have a sponsor in here, and everyone's enjoying it, so we've got to make sure that this is held properly, and they're trying to make it real world and simulated, and that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it certainly does send a message, and yeah, you're right. We are trying to simulate real world, and those stiff penalties will cut to the bone for some teams, but they'll be sure that next time they follow process.
Exactly right, and that's what we want. We want to see this sort of stuff, and the boys there at AEC do a fantastic job there behind the scenes and work pretty hard. And I think they're looking forward to today, Bernie. It's only 4 hours, so not as drastic as a 24 hours. So get a little bit of a break today.
Yeah, and they're going to probably attack this almost like a sprint with driver changes, I'd say. That's the way I can see it unfolding. Now, for the viewers out there, we're going to break this broadcast into 2 parts. We're going to bring you the first part, the first 90 minutes of racing, and then Adrian and I are going to have a 1 hour tea break. and then we'll be straight back at 6:30 p.m. to take you to the end. So you'll only miss an hour in the middle, and we figured that hour is normally the most boring part of the race, so hopefully you won't miss too much. But the guys are now queuing up, ready to start, so let's go through this grid. So Team TTL will start from pole position with the 136.004. The 115 Nutters Motorsport Orange will start in second, followed by the 100 Dayco Motorsports HPD. Out of fourth will be the 116 Motorsport Nutters Motorsport Green, and then fifth is the Guild of Australian Young Stars. Nice name. Still looking further down the field in 6, ANZ Motorsport HPD, followed by JFF Racing, the 104. Then we have the 137 Carnet TDR, followed by the 131 Tryhards Racing HPD. Then the 118, with quite a bit of work to do, the Redback Racing HPD down there in 10th. Sitting in 11th will be the 130 Synergy Sim Racing, followed by the 112 ABR Team Simulated entry. Out of 13th will be Team VPR, followed by Tryhards Racing HPD2, and then we have the 126 Evolution Racing Australia. Out of 16th is the second Redback Racing HPD, the 119. Then we have Tryhard 7, the number 17, followed by, as we can see them queuing up there, where were we? The 169 will start out of 18th, that's the ABR Team Simulated 2. Then Evolution Racing Australia, the 223. So that's the first of Class B, out of 19th. Then out of 20th will be Synergy Sim Racing, the number 200. Out of 21st, Evolution Racing Australia, the 226, followed by their sister car, the 228. Then we have the 218 All Stars Motorsports out of 23rd. Then out of 24th is the 217 All Stars Motorsports. Then we have out of 25th the 225 SDC Motorsport Enduro. Out of 26 is Thunder Sim Racing, followed by Blackadder Motorsport. Then we have Tryhards Racing DP1 out of 28th. 29th is Tryhards Racing. 30th is Tryhards Racing DP2. Out of 31st is the LN Entouring, followed by OSR DP. Then Mad Cow Racing Frida takes pole for Class C. Then 34th is Oceanic Sim Racing, and then starting out of 35th is the Pagnian IRFF Racing, with Guy Leach piloting that car. So I'm not going to go through the rest, but you can see it up there, and we're getting ready to race here at Monza.
Yeah, certainly are, Bernie, as the all fields there are just spreading out, give each other a bit of room, but watch out for turn 1. I'm sure we're going to have carnage there in at least one or multiple classes today.
Yeah, we can see all the fields, giving them all a good amount of room here, but we can see the HPDs coming down now to take the green flag, and we will be racing here at Monza, and I don't know about you, but I'm getting pretty excited.
Oh, I certainly am, Bernie, as we're getting down to green.
Just waiting for starters orders now. We've got the green flag. We're underway here for the Monza 4-hour at the Selby Australian Endurance Championship, and the Carnet TDR entry's got a good start.
Here we go, coming into turn 1, Bernie, full wide at the start there, them coming into turn 1, not too bad, there's fairly tight as the C7s come in, and there's a little bit of contact there.
Yeah, now the GT3s are coming into the same corner, and hopefully this, we can see the Corvettes getting through, the HPDs have also got through, and now the GT3s look like they've had a clean start as well.
Yeah, it's a good start then if they've all got through. It's still tight going through the second. Oh, there's a turn, there's an ERA car that's taken 2 out. Oh, nearly 3, there's 4, yes, there's a few more cars there, Bernie, have been taken out there in the Corvettes.
Yeah, we can just see them, and we'll see if we come under the first safety car. Those cars are not moving, and as always, they use the realistic rule that if the car can't move, that they have to get permission to exit their car.
So the short version of that is the no escape rule.
Yeah, that's the short version, but you know, I'm just prattling on about stuff.
Yeah, that's alright, as they're still racing away, so it looks like they must be okay. There's no issues there with those cars unless they've forgotten about the no escape rule, which does happen, but obviously if you do that you will get penalised as well, Bernie.
Certainly will, and having a look after the first lap, Dayco Motorsports are 100s leading, followed by Mark Rayner in the 115, and then we have Josh Burden, as Josh just spins the car, and there's a collision into the first chicane there. The 104 caused that, and got caught up with the 103. So they're starting to bunch up again at the moment in Class A.
Yeah, a couple of cars there. Seen there's a little bit of damage, so it's going to see how badly some of these cars are. And you can see one of them has just got swamped, so just trying to pick up a few different teams out there with different car colours this round, so it's a bit hard to pick it up, but obviously some are suffering from straight line speed.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Zach Hanlon and Blake Coppo in the two Evolution Racing Australia Corvettes, they're already starting to pass some of the HPD backmarkers, and they it looks like they're getting held up.
Well, we did notice with these Corvettes, they are quick in a straight line, aren't they? They've definitely got a little bit more grunt, but it's the cornering abilities that they miss out on. But while these HPDs are fighting back here, it's just going to drag them up towards them. So, you know, this is going to make it interesting for these boys to get through, because they're not only they're trying to get through these HPDs, but they're getting challenged by their competitors behind them.
Yeah, and some of the HPDs have also fallen behind the leaders of the GT3 class, which is going to be quite interesting, but that's being led at the moment by Oceanic Sim Racing. Matt Nethercote's in that car. We know they've got pace. Guy Leach is in second in their entry. That's the Next Level Racing entry. Then third is Josh Nowak driving that car, and that's Swift Racing. They've got a great start out of the blocks. Then Delta Sim Racing, well, they've been improving every round. They're sitting in fourth, and then fifth in Class C is another rough, ANZ Motorsports, and that's got Mitchell Koliak driving that car.
Yeah, sounds pretty good back to the boys doing quite well, and I think some of those HPDs are the main starters, so you've probably got the TTL back there, and I forget one of the others that you said earlier, so interesting to see how well those boys will go, but they've got a lot of work to do today.
Yeah, they certainly do, but up front at the moment, Dayco's got the start they'd want, and these guys are pretty focused, aren't they, on taking out the championship for the second time.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. You know, they haven't had the brilliant start to the season again, which is something that they're struggling with, isn't it? But you know, they're getting their legs again and trying to find their way through. They've had a tough start to the season, but they're doing a fantastic job, and they're going to fight their way back, that's for sure.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they're trying to get a bit of a gap working, but Mark Rayner and the Nutters Tryhards, I think that's Tryhards, one of the Tryhards entries, they're definitely hanging on to the back at the moment.
Yeah, that's the Nutters Motorsports green, I think it is. I'm just trying to check the livery there, but yeah, so, oh sorry, was that right? I thought that was there, or did he move? Oh, just my telemetry's playing up again, Bernie. Yeah, so interesting there, just swapped over for me, so a bit interesting the telemetry again, but other than that, no, it's doing well there, and it's awesome racing so far.
Certainly is. So that's Nutters Motorsport Orange with Mark Rayner in that car at the moment. Then we've got the G&T racing just behind him, Jake Burton, but we're on board here with Nutters Motorsport Orange, and you can just see how much patience these guys have to show as they are rounding up one of the Corvettes, and the Daco's got quite a big gap on him now.
Yeah, he has, and it's quite interesting how they're going at the moment, especially seeing a Corvette way back there, so struggled out of the first gate. Must have been one of the cars that got caught up in that incident on lap 1.
Yeah, and the Guild of Australian Young Stars, Jake Burton's driving that car, is coming up to make a move on Nutters, and he's got the inside line here. Let's see how they go under brakes. That was a nice clean start, and we can see Nutters Motorsport Green. They're sitting pretty at the moment in 4th position.
Yeah, one of these teams that's also had a lot of bad luck, haven't they? Nutters Motorsports, whether, you know, whatever's been going on, they seem to have struggled. So doing well, and yeah, sometimes it just comes down to a track, Bernie, on how well these teams go. If they love the track and can get the car set up, but don't forget they've had it like at least a month to get these cars set up, so they're doing well. Yeah,
that's right, and a lot of the guys would have spent a good couple of weeks at least on these cars. You get some teams, of course, that turn up and they just don't put in a lot of time, but they're fast out of the blocks, but they're extremely rare to come by.
Yeah, that's right.
I tell you what, I love the sound of these Corvettes in the Class B, and Zach Hanlon, he's got a bit of a gap over his sister car, the 226 at the moment, but ERA, they're strong in this class, aren't they?
Yeah, they definitely have worked on these cars, get sorted, so, and don't forget, ERA is a big team, and I've noticed there, Bernie, they signed up a GT Academy race car personnel again this season.
Well, that's interesting. And who was that signing?
You know what? I should know his name, but I'm pretty slack with names. But he's actually racing in the Nismo Sports team this year as well, and so a good signing there for ERA. Definitely got a decent team there. Yeah,
well, ERA, they're pretty good at finding the top drivers and signing them up before other teams can grab them, aren't they?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, they're always looking to get the talent, and they're doing a great job. And you know, definitely got a lot of us. The only team I see out there that probably could do with some sponsorship, ERA does a good job at getting their own sponsorship, which is nothing wrong with that. But the Mad Cows, I think they deserve a bit of sponsorship, Bernie. They also got 2 teams in the blank paying World Endurance series, so those guys definitely need some help there with some sponsorship for sure. I reckon do some sort of sponsor a World Good, especially on the world stage.
Well, that's exactly right, isn't it? And we've got about 5 teams now that are on the world stage, and that's covered live by other broadcasters. So, you know, it's a good opportunity for anyone to who's interested in getting in at the ground level to grab these teams, while it's quite affordable to actually sponsor them.
Exactly right. I think it's a nice, cheap platform for any sponsorship. I mean, we can just see with Shelby sponsoring this series, which is great to have. At least we've got a sponsor and a good sponsor at that. Helps out with all your home hi-fi systems and sim gear as well. Definitely deal in sim gear, so do a fantastic job with that. And, you know, it's good to have these on. Even Synergy Sim Racing, they've got Boost on board, so it's good to see that. And you know, we need these sponsors here in this sport. It's a great sport with these World Series. If we can keep going, It's really strong in iRacing here in our sim sport, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I'll tell you what, Bessie's having a bit of a hard time out there. They're currently sitting in around about 10th in class, so not the start that they'd probably want. But then again, 3 hours 50 minutes to go here, and you know, they've got plenty of time to move that car up.
Oh yeah, it's not a good start. I'm sure things have happened and it's not worked out for them, but you know, the tenacity of those boys back there is a never say die attitude for those guys, and they'll be pushing forward and trying to get through and make the best of it.
Yeah, and the car that we did see in trouble earlier on, parked at the second chicane, that ERA Corvette, that's a 228. It's got Anthony Mansarella driving it, and they're just starting to make their way through the front runners of the GT3s now.
Yeah, and so are the HPDs near. They're starting to make their way through the GT3s as well. So it just goes to show how quickly the boys are travelling. We've been on now for a good 13 minutes of racing, and we've done what, just trying to lap 7. So in 7 laps, the HPDs have got up to these GT3s. It just shows you how quick this racetrack is.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. It is a very quick track, and those chicanes, it's an interesting mix. Under those chicanes, you've got to brake really hard to go through them, and then they're interspersed with some really fast straights and kinks, I guess you could call them.
Oh yeah, you know, we've got what, three decent straightaways where the guys can open up the quick cars and get down there pretty quickly, and then we've got a couple of nice sweeping turns in there as well, and then we've got nice hard braking areas as well, which really suit the GT3s. They can get into these corners really late, but it's the straight line speed that catches these GT3s out. With so many BMWs in there, they're going to struggle against all these other cars, and with those Corvettes, they're just magic in a straight line. They're quicker than a HPD, I think.
Yeah, they can be. They've got quite a lot of speed under them, but I'll tell you what, one car that's got a fair bit of speed earlier on is the Guild of Australian Young Stars, Jake Burton. He's reeled in Reece Gardner in the 100, and he's looking hungry to take the lead of this race.
Yeah, good job there, and going through these GT3 cars at the moment, which will be slowing down Reece at the moment, just trying to get through the traffic. And you know, it's not an easy task for these HPD drivers. I think all they want the GT3s is just to stick to the racing line, so they're predictable and they can make the move as cleanly as possible. As you see there, Jake has just missed out. He just had to duck in behind the Blackadder, and now he's going to have that straight line speed, hopefully, to scoot past these GT3s. But Reece has made that gap again.
Yeah, that's right, and it will ebb and flow as Jake's going on the inside of the GT3 there. He's got to hope, and it's a case that the Delta Simsport BMW saw him coming and took the wide line there.
Yeah, and you can see there now, you know, Mark gained up onto Jake there as well, but Jake just had a little bit more of a break there going through the Parabolica, so had a breakaway, but now he's stuck behind this BMW and he'll be slowed up here, and Mark will catch him again as he breaks away, and he's got a few more GT3s to get through.
And they've lapped them in, they're up to the 9th lap now, so every 9 laps you can expect them to be in amongst this. So really, I guess now for the next 3 hours 44 minutes, it's just going to be traffic, isn't it, for these guys? Yeah,
you know, we've taken, you know, 7 to 9 laps really to get into the thick of things, and with a 4-hour race, you're going to get traffic, I think, nearly throughout the whole lap, unless there's a little bit of break, but that's only going to be 1 lap out of the whole race. As you can see here now, we've got a battle for the lead, Bernie.
Yeah, as we can see, Jake taking the inside heavy under brakes here. He threw it in there, and I guess that's almost like a slide job, but Reese just got it a bit wrong there, hit the ripple strip, and he almost went into the guardrail there.
Yeah, tough corner that one, Bernie. Get it a little bit wrong and it can only throw you into a guardrail either side, especially with a lot of speed, because believe it or not, you're travelling through that chicane there quite quickly, and if you're not careful, it'll throw you one way or another, and your race is done.
Yeah, that's for sure, and Reese managed to hang on to it. There was also a bit of a nervous time there for the two Nutters entries, Orange and Green, as they're racing nose to tail there, but Orange got a bit caught up, and Green was right on his back bumper.
Yeah, it's hard, like as a team, you really don't want to get caught in any incidents with each other, obviously, because you can take out not one but two cars, so those boys will be aware and trying to race nice and clean. They should know each other, but accidents will happen, and sometimes you'll take out your teammate, but that's the worst case scenario, and I'm sure that's not what they're wanting.
And we're having a look further down. Zach Hanlon, he's bump drafting a HPD down the straight here, and he was pretty much bump drafted him too, but at the moment ERA 1 and 2 in Class B, and Zach's got a 3-second gap back to the Boost Juice entry at the moment, and Michael Schreier's driving that.
Yeah, it's Zach's driving pretty good at the moment. He's keeping his head on his shoulders and doing a great job. So good to see he's doing a good job there at the moment. And let's hope he can bring this car home. He's quite a good driver. He just gets away from himself sometimes, and it costs him a race. But he's doing a great job here today so far, and let's hope he can keep on going.
Yeah, and his teammate Blake Coppo, he's just sitting in front of this HPD at the moment, and the HPD's not closing in, and as you said a couple of laps ago, the Corvettes are definitely quicker than the HPDs in some parts of this circuit.
Yeah, we've noticed a big straight line speed differential with these cars. There's not much in it between the Corvette and the HPD. Where the HPD outdoes the Corvette is actually due to the power-weight ratio in how light that HPD is and how it can get through a corner compared to the Corvette. So that's where its strength is. But it depends on how you set the car up too, I suppose, as well, Bernie, just see how well the car performs. But yeah, those Corvettes are fantastic in a straight line.
Yeah, and I think that's where they do suffer a bit, is the downforce through the corners. They're not as good as the HPDs, but they definitely are holding their own out there.
Yeah, for sure. It makes for interesting racing with multi-class. I mean, who would have thought a Corvette could bring it to a HPD? So it's good to see. Obviously, there's a little incident here as Zach got into a pack of a HPD, which has damaged the front of that. So hopefully it's not too much work there for those guys, because obviously they don't have a quick repair. So any repair they need to do will take them a while. Yeah,
and what caused that was they had a GT3 sitting in front, and as it's GT3 slowing in the background, they had a GT3 sitting in front. The HPD backed up for it, and Zach couldn't stop in time, and his car's looking like it's got a big frown on the front now.
Yeah, and we have noticed, you lose a little bit of aero on these things, and it's going to extra a bit of speed. So be interesting on how much speed he loses here, and the HPD might be able to get around him for a change.
Yeah, we'll have a look at the telemetry as he comes down the straight, and we'll just see what he's topping out at in this Corvette.
They're trying to pick this field. It's pretty tough, but looking at some of those cars already, Bernie, looking very second hand at the moment.
Yeah, so some of them are looking extremely second-hand with no fast repairs. They're going to get worse yet. But yeah, he topped out at 292 kilometres an hour, so I don't think it's affected him too much.
Well, that'd be good for the team. As long as the car steers well and hasn't lost a lot of aero on that car, he'll be okay. But you know, he does have boost juice there sitting behind, so they're waiting for that opportunity where they can pounce and take over the lead. But smart boys back there in the boost juice entry, they're not racing yet. They're just going to probably trundle around for the first 3 hours and wait for the last hour, Bernie. That's when you got to be there and buy that ticket for the last few minutes of the race. Yeah,
that's exactly right. And a lot of these teams, we actually see the race come to them, don't they? They sort of start out measured, and as the race goes on, they find themselves up the pointy end.
Oh yeah, for sure. You always see with the teams that are patient and want to take their time and make sure they get these situations calculated right, end up at the right end. He's just sitting here with Zach at the moment. He's just fighting this HPD, and it's not looking good for him at the moment. But hopefully, you know, the car's all right. He's just got to settle down and take a deep breath and maybe let this HPD go for a lap or so until he can gather his thoughts and move forward again. I know the second place car there is behind him, but you know, keep a nice distance there. There's a lot of work to go through in these laps at the moment.
Yeah, I think what Zach's trying to keep an eye on is his teammate, Blake Coppo. He doesn't want to let him get too far up the track, and with this HPD, he's got just as much pace, but he's got a bit of a gap on it now, but then it just comes and pulls him back in again.
Yeah, sorry viewers, I was a little bit mixed up there. I'm thinking Zach was in first, but he's not. It's Blake Coppo, so still an ERA car in front, but yeah, no, he's going along. Blake's doing, oh look, yeah, he's getting a little bit loose there, Benny. I think I'm going to have to get off Zach at the moment. It looks like he's getting a little bit squirrely at the moment. I think he's just trying to overdrive that car a little bit too much at the moment.
Yeah, he's a bit flustered, I think, and it'll take him, as you said, a couple of laps just to get back into his zen mode and push on in that car. But I tell you what, that HPD in front, he's also looking a little bit ragged.
Yeah, I did notice he got a little bit squirrely there going through the last chicane there, so I'm just waiting for my cameraman to settle down at the moment, just trying to see what sort of action is. At the moment I've got Warren Pickering here in position 6, so doing a great job. It was a very solid team last season, weren't they, Bernie? And just had a few things go wrong for them this season, so it wasn't a good start for these guys, but hopefully they could probably turn that around, you know, through the last half of the season and have a good run to the end.
Yeah, that's definitely the goal, and I tell you what, Zach Hanlon's brought that car in, so he mustn't be happy with something to do with it, and it looks like they're getting that car repaired.
Yeah, it didn't look good, did it? It was moving around a bit on him, so it's unfortunate to see that car in, but obviously it needs to be done. Get the problem sorted now and try and fight your way back. I mean, even if you throw a little bit of tyre, some fuel at it, Bernie, you know, change your fuel strategy a little bit, because if you come in again, you put less fuel in it, so it might help you out for the next stint or so. So it'd be interesting. Yeah,
it will be. They've got 3.5 hours to get that car back up there, and I guess if it's not handling the way they want it, the team has decided to bring it in for some sort of repair. And yeah, as you said, they'll be looking at pit strategy now to help get that car back up there.
Yeah, for sure. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that car at the moment. So, but unfortunately, Bernie, it looks like the sister car, the Redback, has got a penalty. It looks like it's got a drive-through as well, and a 30-second hold. So it's pretty tough call there. So it'd be interesting to see what happened with those guys.
Yeah, they've been penalised for contact with the 366. Now, the 366 is one of the Blackadder entries, I'm pretty sure. And we'll see if we can bring him up. I think it'll be a Blackadder BMW from memory. Yes, it is. And so that's a penalty, but yep, drive through plus a 30-second hold.
Yeah, that's a big tough one. So they're definitely cracking down, aren't they? Race control. So they're meaning business, and the guys are going to have to be a little bit more wary of what they're doing. But at the end of the day, you know, it is racing and they're admin, and that's what they got to do. But I'll tell you what, it looks like at the moment, I'm still here with Warren. He's having a battle with, I think it's just trying to check who that is at the moment, Bernie. Different paint scheme to than what I used to. Oh, it's Aaron Osborne in TDR. So he's way back though, Bernie. He's way back in 23rd. Must have been caught up somewhere in the long line of incidents that we had early on, but definitely looking racy in that car.
Yeah, and they're not actually racing for position, so you know, Warren can afford to let him go if he's quicker and focus on that gap back. He's got a 10-second gap over Michael Hammond in 7th at the moment.
Yeah, well, there you go, Bernie. He's let Aaron through, so not sure if he did it on purpose or maybe Aaron just got up there and surprised Warren there. But that position is not for a position, but Aaron's away, and obviously those guys got a lot of work to do. Probably at least a lap down or so, I think, in being in 23rd.
Yeah, they definitely do have a lot of work to do, and having a look at this gap for Warren at the moment, it's 8.6 back to Michael Hammond, and just over 9 seconds up to the 126 Evolution Racing Australia entry. So they're sort of in no man's land at the moment.
Yeah, it's just on their own, which is not a bad thing, but obviously it gives them a chance to see how the car's going, what they need to do to try and make that car go a little bit better. But obviously you can do small changes when the race starts, but you know, those small changes might help that car go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and we'll just bring up the Class C, because we haven't seen much of them, and we should bring it up, and let's have a look at who's leading this class. Well, it's Oceanic Sim Racing, Matt Nethercote, and he's got that HPD, the 169 behind him. But these guys are pretty strong, aren't they?
Oh yeah, for sure, Benny. You know, it's one of these things that you see these guys, and they do a fantastic job. Yeah, we do have a couple of new faces, but generally you do get the same guys in here, and you feel for them sometimes. But yeah, they do a fantastic job, and it's good to see them out there.
Yeah, so they're leading the way, and then in second is Mitchell Koliak for ANZ Motorsports. They were sitting in 4th, so they've worked their way up to 2nd. And then in 3rd, well, Next Level Racing is sitting in 3rd at the moment, just behind ANZ. Then we've got Josh Nowak up there as well, and that's Swift Racing. So these guys are looking pretty strong today as well.
Yeah, no, it's good to see a few different guys up there for a change. It's definitely good for the racing at the moment, and maybe the way the traffic is definitely throwing a mix in there, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the way Swift Racing was founded was there was a bunch of friends that decided they'd give iRacing a go and decided they'd form a team and enter this competition. So it's great to see them out there having a good time at the moment, 4th in class, and right behind them is G&T Racing, Trent Thomas. So it's good to see Trent out there having a go as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Trent does his own series and does a lot of work there as well. So good to see him. We've seen him in Asper as well. Believe he took out the AMP class in that. Now in Pro for the next season. But yeah, no, he drives pretty good, and he's a good person as well. So great bloke.
Yeah, and he's one of the organisers behind the Formula Renault Australian Championship. And they've only got one more round of that championship to run, and then they're going to have a season break. And one thing you might be interested in is they're going to be running a fun series of Lotus 79s.
Yeah, that would be a load of fun, those Lotus 79s. I've heard they're quite a handful at some tracks, so that'd be cool. Also, with AEC, hopefully at some stage they're going to be doing a fun run as well with GT3, so that'll be something to be watching out for later on in the season.
Yeah, definitely. And Hayden Burns at the moment, he's having a bit of a good run in the Selby entry. And they're 5th in class at the moment, and that car's looking nice and straight. Touch wood.
Yeah, back in the rough with Hayden at SEK as I see a car turned around there, Bernie. I'll see if I can see who that is.
Yeah, it's a Corvette, and GT3's just joined him, I think.
Yeah, so that was Daniel Atchison in car 221 and Black Adder 366 as well. So a bit tough here at the moment trying to turn around. It's not a good... He's in an okay spot, but as he has to jump over the ripples in his way again. But it's a tough race there for Thunder Sim Racing at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we'll just jump back to the replay of the 366 getting into trouble down here. We'll just see what's unfolded here. So he's got Bessie, the 333, right behind him now as they're coming into the trouble zone, we'll call it. Yeah, and Bessie's actually... and Bessie's been in trouble as well. They've collected each other, and the 366 went around, and so did the 333.
Yeah, I was trying to wait for my replay to come up and have a look. Gets a little bit slow here for my replays.
Oh man, that was really close. One of the Corvettes had their car totally locked up and nearly rear-ended another Corvette there.
Oh, there's a 351, looks like he's in trouble as well. And I believe it was an All-Star Motorsports car got in trouble in there as well, so I have to check out on that as well. Yes, it was car number 217. That might be the car you were talking about, Bernie.
Yeah, he had it all locked up, but the 351 with Matt Nethercoat behind the wheel there, that car's crabbing. That's going to be huge. Going to have huge implications on Class C.
Yeah, I could see there. It looks like Joe was overtaking 351 there. Jumped back in front of him to take the braking line, and because of the rough and its braking ability is not being able to stop because it's just ploughed in the back of that Corvette, and it sent it spinning, and then the 351's just hit it again, so that'll be probably why it's got that crabbing issue.
Yeah, we're going to try and get this up on the screens for the viewers now, and we can see Joe Burke at All-Star Motorsports 217 now, just coming up on the 351. He's flashing his lights to let him know he's going to go on the inside, which he's got past, so we'll see what's happened. Oh yeah, the All-Stars Motorsports car's actually got loose under brakes, come right across the track and T-boned the 351. So that explains how the Class C race leader had their car pretty much, I won't say destroyed, but heavily damaged.
Yeah, and that's going to happen, unfortunately, just one of those racing incidents. I think we'll see what the admin say, but definitely a racing incident in my eyes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think there was any contact between them up until Joe went backwards across the track, and he was a passenger at that point, and clouded the 351, but with no fast repairs, that car's going to be sitting there for quite a long time, and it looks like they might have decided to park it for the night. No, he's back. Yep, they're going to repair it.
Yeah, just keep going. I mean, I've seen these guys do it every time, Bernie. They have a bad time and then they'll go in and they'll get it repaired and they'll come back later on. I mean, it's always about points. If they can keep going and try and score points. But the other thing is that incident level, obviously with that is comes down to you actually start losing championship points. So you don't want to exceed too many of those incident points today.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, and the leader now will be the 398 with Koliak behind the wheel of that car, so they take the lead as one of the 118, that's Warren Pickering, just passing him there. Having a look at our penalties at the moment, the 221 Thunder Sim Racing, they have been given a warning for barging on the 367. There's also a incident under review for the 229 LMTI Corvette, so that's currently under review at this stage.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. You know, I'm saying that the guys have probably got it easy today, but I think they've probably got it just as hard. This track is obviously showing that it's a difficult one for these boys tonight with how close everyone is at the moment.
Yeah, and up the front, the Guild of Australian Young Stars, they've got a huge lead now. 12 seconds back to the Nutters entries. One car that has faded a bit, and I'm trying to work out where the heck they are. It's Reece Gardner. I think the Dayco entry might be in a bit of bother. They're sitting in 5th at this stage. It looks like we've got a bit of potentially a bit of a bend there in that front spoiler.
Probably hit one of those bollards or something there, Bernie. They're quite aggressive bollards here. I believe they're aggressive because of the NASCAR side of things. Obviously you see the NASCARs have those bollards quite aggressive, but generally I don't think they're that aggressive here in Monza, but maybe that's what's happened and got a little bit of damage that way and slowing the car down.
Yeah, well, his top speed down the front straight there was 283 kilometres an hour, and we can see the Carnet TDR entry behind him actually catching him under the acceleration. They're just not cornering as well.
Yeah, and that PT racing car's got a little bit of work to do. They're a little bit behind at the moment. I think they got caught up in that turn 1 incident with a few HPDs in the first couple of laps and probably got a lot of damage in the front end, and it was quite slow in a straight line, so they decided to repair it and try and get some speed out of this car. But they're second in the championship, so they definitely need to try and keep pushing forward and get some points out of this race today.
Yeah, well, that's the name of the game now, isn't it? Trying to get points. And I'm just having a look at the Nutters Motorsport Orange coming down the straight. They're topping out at 290 kilometres an hour, so the Dayco entry is about 7 kilometres an hour slower in the straight line at the moment.
Yeah, probably just hit one of those parts or the ripples there, Bernie. I think that's the big cause. I've seen it here happen plenty of times. Guys will run over those little speed bumps or bollards. I call them bollards because they're that big. You may as well try and avoid them, otherwise you will damage your car, and that's what's happened to these guys, I think.
Yeah, it could be, and it doesn't take a lot to damage them, does it?
No, even the Corvettes, they're in the same boat. I've even seen some of the GT3s, they've had a slight damage as well, so they are. That's how big these bollards are on this track. They're so big that you get a GT3, and if they hit them, they get damaged as well. So it just goes to show how tough they are.
And having a look at a few more penalties that have just been issued. The 229 was issued looks like a warning for careless driving, contact with a 232, but then they've been hit with a communication breach over voice, which is now a drive-through plus MPT plus 30-second hold. I'm not sure what MPT stands for. 366 Blackadder Motorsport, they've also got a post-race penalty or a post-race investigation for contact with Bessie, the 333. So I think that's the two we saw turning them around, and they're going to review that. But somehow I think it should be the 333 getting the post-race against them and not the 366.
Yeah, that's right. It's it's admin once again, Bernie. That's race control. That's they have a look at things and they'll decide it, and we'll see how they go. But while you're doing that, I just caught Justin Strickland having a spin at the Parabolica, so just got loose. It looks like he's still in third. He hasn't lost any time, but hasn't lost a position, but obviously lost time from that spin. But it's dropped him down a bit, and Ian Ford can see him for sure, and probably want to try and push to see if he can catch up. But I'll tell you what, those other motorsports cars are definitely hooked up, and they're racing pretty good at the moment.
They certainly are, and he's still got a 4.6 second gap over Ian Ford there, so and 9.4 up to his sister car. So a little bit of work to do there to try and catch back up again, as you can see now Justin just passing a couple of GT3s.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's got to get his rhythm back. Obviously, maybe a bit of aero wash there going through the Parabolica, which is something that does happen with these cars, which is really pretty good. And I'll tell you what, Bernie, the one thing that I am happy about tonight is my internet is working pretty good. I'm pretty happy with my new provider, so things are going well. Getting cable is probably the best thing I've done since I've joined iRacing.
Yeah, well, you never look back now that you've got cable, that's for sure. And just like the 226 here, he's not looking back either, and he's leading Class B as he just passes one of the LMTI entries. So Evolution Racing Australia, they've got 3 cars in Class B, and at the moment 2 of them have had some form of strife to them, but this one's looking strong.
Yeah, certainly is. Coppo in the car at the moment. He's overtaken a GT3 as we get, looks like it's Oz Motorsport Orange, is it there, Bernie, as well, trying to make his way through these guys as well. It was pretty tough trying to pass that Corvette, that's for sure.
Certainly is. Yes, it is Oz Motorsport Orange as well, and he's got through now. And he's also having a look at the 331. Now that car, news on that, let's see who's driving that. That's Sam Young behind the wheel of that car at the moment, and they're 36th outright.
Coppo in, Bernie, so this looks like a scheduled pit stop for these guys. We have been running for just about 45 minutes, so early stop here, or is that something standard? It looked like it just got some repairs, so it must be standard for these Corvettes today, Bernie. Yeah,
and Shrey is in as well, just in front of him here, so I think it could be a scheduled stop. And All-Star Motorsport's coming in now, so Michael Schreier is out of that car, Brenton Hobson's in, and Blake Coppo, he's double stinting.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea, Bernie, because that brings every 45 minutes. I think that's an extra stop for these guys, I think. So, probably do a couple of double stints and maybe a triple there with someone possibly as well there, Bernie.
Oh, gee, that was close. Blake Coppo came out of the pits and a HPD spun in front of him coming through the chicane, and there was nearly contact. But I tell you what, ERA did a fantastic pit stop, 22.5 seconds, and they've got a huge gap back to the Boost Juice entry now.
Yeah, I can check how long they were actually in the lane 4 complete, so if I can find them, which will be another task for me to do at the moment, Bernie, just to see how long they were in there. Hopefully I can find that in a moment.
Yeah, so that's a 226 versus a 200, and the 200's lost a lot of time in that pit stop.
Okay, Bernie, I've found the cars. Yeah, it looks like ERA was in there stopped for 22.2 seconds, and the 200 was there for 31 seconds. So there's a good 9 seconds difference there, and that related in the pit lane as well. So they're pretty close on pit lane speed as well. So got it done in the stop there, Bernie. So strategy might be out here and playing at the moment.
I'd say it is, because they've got a 4.9 second gap now over the 200, and the 266 Blackadder Motorsport, they've actually taken second out of all that, and they're yet to stop those, so they should be coming in now, which they are, and that will hand the second spot back to Synergy Sim Racing number 200.
Yeah, just going that little bit longer, I think. But looking at ERA with that stop and a few of the other guys, they've factored in that they'd had to stop, so they've equalled out their stops, so they could probably get the most out of it. Possibly they've even put even less fuel in it. Maybe that's why these Corvettes are probably quicker than those HPDs, because I reckon these HPDs are going to go for the hour, and that's what the GT3s are going to go for, that's for sure. I know that they can run for an hour, and you know they can run for an hour, and everyone in iRacing knows that GT3s can run for an hour. But maybe ERA is on to something here, and same with the Corvettes. They just need that one little short stop of fuel, and they knew they couldn't do it, and possibly turned it into an extra stop to make it through and probably be quicker.
Yeah, potentially. So what I heard out of all that, Adrian, is the GT3s can run for an hour. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, for sure.
I know, I'm just stirring you.
Yeah, I know. That's all good. We've got another penalty come up here. I think we've got 217 All-Star Motorsports causing contact. Well, they got that penalty there, Bernie, for moving in that braking zone and causing contact with the car 351. So they got the penalty for that one, Bernie, which is probably understanding that they moved across in the braking line, but in my opinion, might have been a little bit hard.
Yeah, they definitely moved along in the braking line, but they were facing the wrong way at the time. But maybe they had contact earlier on that we didn't see in the replay that caused him to spin that car.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, you know, this is our job. We'll call what we'll see. So, race admin do their, race control do their job, and that's what they're there for. They don't get paid for it, unfortunately, but you know, doing a fairly good job, and we'll see how they go. As see here, Coppo going past the HPD and being passed by the orange Nutters Motorsport as well. So, doing a fantastic job there, Coppo, and we'll see how they go throughout the race.
Yeah, definitely. They're the last of the RA cars up in the pointy end of Class B, that's for sure. It's quite interesting down here in Class C. Hayden Burns in the Selby entry has they've taken the lead of Class C, and they've got right behind them Swift Racing. So those guys are racing for position, and I'd say they're up there because the other guys have possibly started their pit stops, maybe not.
Interesting to see. I'm just trying to find out where they are on my telemetry, which is once again, it's one of those things with telemetry. There we are, Hayden Burns, off to the Mad Cows, Bernie. So I believe he's scheduled to run for Shelby through the AEC, but I think after in their other areas, he's off to through to Mad Cow, which is really good for Hayden. Obviously, with the professionalism over there in Mad Cow, a good thing for him and something to learn, and just showing he's actually gone a fair way even in this short time. You can just see the skill that he's starting to bring to the form in these GT3s, which is something that he wasn't used to. He was used to the old C-Spec rough, and it was a different beast to drive to this, but obviously the handling and the maturity will definitely come a long way, especially with Mad Cow.
Oh, definitely. I think he's got some, what is he, got a development type deal, hasn't he, with them to get a feel for it, and they've got eyes on him potentially getting his pro level license for the world stage. I think that's what they're working towards.
Oh yeah, for sure, and you know, he's a great asset to any team. Like Hayden's done well with Shelby, and you know, and Shelby's enjoyed his presence, and they're doing well. And at the moment, it's a process. He's actually learning a lot from those guys, and that comes down to just not just racecraft, but setting up a car as well. I believe they're going through the whole process where you learn everything, and I believe. Last time that we spoke to those guys in the SEK Championship, he built a setup for the Mercedes and helped the guys out in that respect as well. And unfortunately for Mad Cow, they didn't have the race they wanted, but it was a good setup, and they pushed through, and out of adversity they came home with a fairly decent result actually.
Yeah, there's been contact with one of the ERA cars and a HPD coming through. I don't even know the name of that S. Hang on a second, let's bring up the track guide. Variante Ascari. Yeah,
unfortunately it looks like Zach was involved in that. And I'll tell you what, that poor Corvette is second hand, and they're way down in 40 seconds, so big troubles for Zach today, and looks like I put the mocker on him.
Yeah, they're not having a race they want, and just have a look at this, because he's got a huge gap over that HPD, and we'll just see exactly what's happened here as he's coming into Ascari now on our replay. Oh yeah, he's hit the bollards coming into Ascari, and he's actually looped it, and he's rolling down the track, and the simulated tryhards entry actually missed him, but he put it back across the bollard, so I wouldn't be surprised if that car has some sort of bent under tray of that car.
Yeah, not forgiving. I think that replay sort of expresses what I was trying to get across earlier, Bernie, with these bollards that are on this track. They're quite aggressive, aren't they? So I'm going to upset any car that's on track today, even the GT3. So shame, but good little race though. I just hope he can move forward and you know, become the potential that I think he's got there, Bernie.
Oh, definitely. He's a young bloke, and he's definitely got the pace. He's just got to, I guess, I don't know, what would be the word, temper his exuberance a little bit.
Yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it? As a team trying to control that excitement. Obviously, you don't want to hamper it, because that's what makes him so good. But it's just about knowing how to get him to control it. I think that's going to be the hardest thing, is trying to get him to control his exuberance in racing. But he does it. He is quick, and that's what they've. I suppose that's the development there for Zach is trying to see a bit of smoke lock up there from a rough in front of a couple of HPDs there.
Yeah, and it's I've heard, you know, real race teams in the real world talking about, you know, you get a young guy and they'd much rather have a young guy that's really quick and just needs that coaching, I guess, to get them the results than they would having a guy that's slower. I guess the word is they can always get the fast guys to slow down again if they need to, but it's really hard to get a slow guy to go fast.
Yeah, I suppose a big good example of that here in Australia would be the PRA guys. I mean, they've got one old guy, and he's not that old, which is old Frosty there, and then the young guys that are in there as well. Just goes to show, you know, you got those in there, and it's just about control. But being in a good team always helps.
Oh, definitely does. And as you said, you know, with the mad cows, it's not just driving that they teach these guys, it's also car setup and all the other things that go along with becoming a successful sim racer.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's an aspect, and if you can utilise that and get all that throughout the whole team, it just makes it so much better for everyone, where they can you know, bounce off each other to get the results. And I'll tell you what, I've just got to check that, but it looks like the Green Nutters Motorsport has done a fantastic job and caught back up here.
Yeah, it looks like we've got Simon Feigl in the green room, so while you're doing that, I'm going to bring him up for a bit of a chat.
Sounds good.
Hi Simon, welcome to RRTV's Combox. How's your race shaping up out there?
Not too great, in the sense that we've got overall we had the pole sitter in the 223 Zach had a problem with a glitch, and we've just had the exact same glitch happen on 228. So both of those cars are down 3 laps now through essentially no fault of our own. Just little meatball thing, which unfortunately happens with this car, and iRacing still haven't fixed it. So yeah, that one's really put a downer, but the good news is that we do have 226 leading, and our 126 is doing pretty well as well.
Yeah, we saw earlier one of the ERA cars having to go in the pit, which was probably that black flag glitch you're talking about. But yeah, on the positive, you got one. I'm just seeing where this car is at the moment. I think the 126 is yours, isn't it?
That's correct. Yeah. So that's our HPD. So they're having a pretty solid race, which is good. Focus more on race pace than they did in qualifying, because certainly the qualifying pace they kind of knew wasn't there, but also they definitely not a long race. So focused just pretty much the whole time on that race pace, and it looks to be pretty good.
Yeah, we've got them down in 12th at the moment. But yeah, I guess they're looking at the race coming to them as the laps start ticking down on that car.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's 2 guys in 40 and Sean Evans, who have been spending a bit of time in the car the last couple of days, just getting it all sort of dialed up. But yes, they're focused on the race, and there's 4 hours is a fair chunk. So there's quite a bit still to play out.
Definitely, but the 226 at the moment is looking very strong in Class B. I think this car's actually led just about every single lap in Class B, so that's an excellent result. 35 laps we've completed here so far.
Yeah, no, Blake's doing a really good job. There was a little, with that incident that happened with Zach, there's a GT3 that just sort of slowed up mid-apex and almost caught out Blake as well. So very fortunate that the 226 got away with that. Unfortunately, it did pick up the 223 and made that one a bit difficult. But yeah, no, they're doing a great job out front, and obviously the battle is with the 200 from SSR. So yeah, it's going to be a race-long battle, I think, with them.
Yeah, they've got a really handy lead over the 200. And I tell you what, you guys turned the service of the 226 around really quickly in that pit stop, which helped Blake get a nice handy gap on the 200.
Yeah, no, definitely helpful. We'll take a pit stop break wherever we can get it. So no, good to turn it around. And we've also got partnering up Blake with Tom Jones, who, if you remember from Bathurst, was the final lap pass to take the win. So he certainly knows a thing or two about driving a C7. So we've definitely got a strong unit, that one.
Yeah, definitely. And are we going to see you out in the cars a bit later on?
No. This one off. I'm daddy daycare at the moment, as well as crew chief, so multitasking. But yeah, that's good fun to watch the boys out there, and hopefully we can get a good result.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be good to see the 226. They're heading for a good result. Touchwood. 3 hours of the race to go, and hopefully we'll see those guys up on the podium, as well as the 126. See how they shape up. They're sitting in 9th position now. So yeah, definitely up the pointy end of the field with that car as well.
Yeah, and I think with those two, they're obviously one to look out for now. But 223 and 228 have got a very good opportunity to still get a top 5 result. I know that they're 3 laps down now, but 4 hours is a long race, and they've got really good pace. So I'm confident that the guys can get up there again. And yeah, who knows? The problem is with this car and with Monza is with the slippery policeman is all it takes is for you to roll over them once, and your entire front end can rip off. So it could happen to anyone at any moment, and then they get the same sort of glitch. So we'll see how it goes. Something that we need to be careful of. But I think that they'll be able to come back and we'll end up with a pretty good result for the other cars.
Yeah, that's right, especially when there's no fast repairs. It doesn't take much to destroy one of these cars. But anyway, Simon, before we let you go, do you want to give a shout out to all the sponsors backing the ERA campaign today?
Yeah, definitely. We've got MPMS Racing Simulators, their main sponsor with us tonight. And then we've also got GTI, Joel Real Timing, and Maverick Welding as well. And we also have a future announcement coming in the next week or two for another major sponsor, so definitely keep your eyes out for that. It's going to make quite a statement, so we're looking forward to sharing that with everyone.
Fantastic, we look forward to that. But, anyway, Simon, you better get back to managing the team and doing daddy daycare as well.
Excellent, will do. Thanks, Bernie.
So I wonder what announcement they've got lined up there, Adrian.
Nismo's winning their sponsorship.
Oh, you think Nismo's going to be behind it, do you?
Oh, it's a big call, isn't it? It could be, just by the signing that they've had recently with a real world racer. Came a real world racer through simulated racing, so could be Nismo, be another sponsor that he's got aboard on himself as well. So won't know until we find out. So that's quite interesting. But put a big name out there, Nismo. I reckon that'd be a good one to sign up.
Yeah, I reckon it might be Sony PlayStation. I reckon with their connection, you never know.
Well, that's a big call as well there, Bernie. PlayStation, that's definitely a big call, and it'd be interesting. PlayStation getting on board with sponsoring an iRacing team. Yes, that's definitely a big one.
Yeah, well, it could be a real shrewd move too for them to sponsor a team on a PC platform where for their racing games back on the PlayStation could be a good thing.
It could be. I mean, I'm not to deny that one. That would be quite a good one, actually, Bernie. I reckon that's a good rumour, and I think we should plant that one thoroughly, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so. So, folks, you heard it here first.
Yeah, well, that's going to be interesting. Two theories there, interesting theories there by both me and myself there. Either it's going to be PlayStation coming on board, which would be a really good one, and quite a shock, and also Nismo. Nismo is connected to PlayStation as well, so there you go.
Yeah, well, that's right. GT Academy is connected to the PlayStation, isn't it? And through their Gran Turismo franchise. But, it might be time to give the viewers a bit of an update on each class. We'll do the top 3 of each class. So at the moment, The Guild of Australian Young Stars is leading. 25 seconds is the gap, and Jake Maloney is driving that car at the moment. Then we have in second place the 115 Nutters Motorsport Orange. David Jellings is driving that, and then third, where are we here? Third is Team TTL, Josh Rogers behind the wheel of that car, so they are 34 seconds behind the leader. So looking at...
Yeah, we've got... Sorry, Bernie, just got another penalty come up through there on the screen there. Garnet TDR 327 drive-through penalty, MPT plus 60 seconds hold, so another big penalty there handed out. That was careless driving, contact with car number 367, so big penalty there, Bernie.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out what MPT stands for. Is it like drive-through Muppet or something?
Oh, how about we see if race control can either send us a message to let us know, inform us on MPT, so that we can inform the viewers, so we all know.
I thought it might have meant you get a drive-through because you've been a Muppet, and you have to hold for 60 seconds.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone that far. I would have said because you were acting like Fozzie Bear, that might have been a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. Well, hopefully race control can tell us what MPT stands for. But in Class B, Blake Coppo is leading the way in the 226 for ERA. Second in that class is, I'm just having a look down, looks like the 266 Blackadder Motorsport. And they've got Sven Kamatz driving that car, so it's looking good for Blackadder there. And then third in Class B is, they are third, and second in Class B is Synergy Sim Racing, the Boost Juice entry. I'm just trying to get a gap from them up to the 226. It's quite substantial, I think.
Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? The telemetry's going a little bit funny for me, but yeah, it's a lot of cars on track and trying to cipher through this. It's quite interesting, and my car 226 is just not quite there at the moment. I'll just have to check the one.
Yeah, and while you're doing that, we'll go through Class C and see who's leading that. It was Oceanic Sim Racing until they had that big crash that hurt them earlier on, but looks like the 333 has just taken the lead from Hayden Burns here in Selby. So these guys are racing for position. So Frida, you know, they say cream always rises to the top, and that's happening for Mad Cow at the moment. So they're leading the 314 for Selby, and then in third is the 399 Delta Sim Sports BMW. There's a great battle going on here between Mad Cow and Selby at the moment, and we might stick with this battle for a bit.
Yeah, good thinking there, Bernie. I've just clicked onto that. So yeah, we've got Scott Gray in the car at the moment. Unfortunate for him, he did race there at the SEK, but just had a few issues. I mean, if the viewers want to go back and watch that, that was a brilliant race there at the Nürburgring. So just go back to RRTV on YouTube on that one, and it was the SEK Championship at the Nürburgring, which was the big one. So 8 minutes a lap. That was quite interesting. But yeah, Scott at the moment driving that BMW, doing a fantastic job there.
Certainly is, and he's actually looking like they're pulling away a little bit on Hayden Burns here, but Hayden just pulls them back in under brakes a little bit.
Yeah, it's quite unusual, but with that, I mean, generally the BMW's not quick in a straight line, but looking at the front of the Haydens are up there at the moment. It's looking a little bit sad, but looks like Scott's getting a little bit held up here behind the Blackadder. He's going to use the draft here a little bit to get around, but yeah, it's probably Hayden's coming up, and there's a HBD. And a Corvette as well. So here we go. This is going to get interesting here in Ascari.
Well, it certainly is, as Hayden's trying to position that car, and that's the leader, Daco 100 there, coming through on them at the same time. So 3 wide down the back straight here.
Yeah, that was a bit interesting, and that's what's going to happen throughout this race. And it looks like that car 100 is getting overtaken by Simulated as well, so it'll be interesting to see how well that turns out.
Well, they were actually racing for position as well. So you had the 2 GT3s racing for position, as well as these two putting a lap on them, also racing for position.
It's all going on here at the moment, and this is what we're going to get throughout the race, I think, Bernie, just because it's so close, and that the boys are pushing to try and go ahead. Like you said, they're treating it like a sprint round, but I'll tell you what, some of these cars are looking second hand.
They certainly are, and Kurt Stenberg's in the 100 at the moment, and he's trying to chase down Michael Hammond, and then back down to Class C where we were. Hayden Burns is trying to chase down Scott Gray in the Mad Cow entry.
Yeah, full on at the moment. These boys are definitely playing for CD stations at the moment, so you know, doing a fantastic job out there and doing it. They're fairly clean. There is a few instances that we did see early on, but generally it's fairly clean racing, and they're doing a great job. Yeah,
and further back it looks like Class C's B's going off as well. Let's jump back here. No, it's not going off. Yeah, I thought it was, but the 200. Where's the 200? He might have just been lapping one of these ERA cars.
Yeah, that was car 200's teammate there in the HBD going around the leader in Class B. So just got around there at the moment. So Coppo here at the moment coming up behind Hayden through the Parabolica, so he'll get that done down the straightaway here, or as they exit the Parabolica. So there you go, that's how quick that Corvette is.
Yeah, and Hayden's flashing his lights at him too, so I don't think he was too happy there.
Yeah, either not too happy or just saying, yeah mate, I knew you were there. It could have been that, but yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, so let's jump back to Frida. Let's try and give these guys a bit of airtime. Because like always, when you've got 3 classes to follow, you sort of start focusing on one class too much, don't you?
Yeah, for sure, unless that class has got a breakaway leader and there's not much entertainment up there. No offence to the bloke that's put in an effort to get their cars up there, but definitely the viewers want to see some racing, and that's what we're getting back here at the moment with Frida. You know, leading the class, doing a great job, and holding up a HBD here is quite amazing. Thought that car could have been around here quite early, but just not confident in that car, I don't think there, Benny.
Yeah, and we can see now one of the Redback cars passing Hayden, and it'll move up to towards Frida there. So it's good to see also now as the guys are maturing even more through this season, that watching the GT3s, they're not afraid to hold that line when they need to, are they?
No, and that's what they need to do. I think this has been conjecture from the start, and it's something early on last year and the first race that we had, and we moved throughout that season, and it's always been a debate, and something that I think at the end of the day, if everyone keeps their line, keeps the racing line, especially for the slower vehicles, if they keep their racing line and stick to their racing line, they're not going to get in trouble. And at the end of the day, the overtaking car has got the responsibility to make sure they do it cleanly, not the guy in front that's trying to take his racing line. And I think that's key in multi-class racing.
Yeah, definitely. And at the moment, Frida's starting to get a bit of a gap over the Selby entry. Let's see if we can get a gap here. 1.6 seconds is the gap from first to second in Class C.
Yes, slowly starting to eke out there. I think maybe Hayden, I might say that Hayden's got a little bit of damage, but these BMWs are strong. They qualified in the top 4 positions, so just seeing that just goes to show like these BMWs are fairly up to date. They're up to date GT3 cars, and unfortunately I think these roughs have not seen as much love and definitely lost a lot here at the moment, Bernie, and probably a good thing for AEC. I think they've got a scheduled date where they may be changing the class of cars. I think maybe it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that, but obviously that's in the future plans to try and get them all up to date with the GT3s.
Yeah, well, I guess with the rough, it's no longer part of the official GT3 classifications anymore, so they'll probably end up not being balanced to the other cars as well as they used to be. So it's unfortunate. It's great to see a Porsche, well, a rough out there again, and it'd be good to see it continue, but unfortunately it's not the case.
Yeah, unfortunately at the moment, Bernie, but I think hopefully in the future, iRacing isn't short term. They're definitely not thinking short term. They are definitely looking at long term. The problem with having such a series like this and the development that's gone into it, it takes a long time to get these things sorted, and obviously trying to keep up with the real world sometimes gets difficult, but they're doing a great job, and hopefully things will sort out, but obviously with development it's going to take its time.
Yeah, and I think iRacing's hit their limit on how many cars they can have on the track at any one time at this stage. Hopefully it'll change in the future, but that limit's still staying at 5 from what I understand.
Yeah, 5 at the moment, which is something that they've got to work at, and I think they are. I think they know that that's the issue, and they want to resolve it at some point, but obviously with trying to bring out new content to try and keep us happy and all the likes of that, it's a big task, and at the end of the day they're doing the best they can, and on a whole it's a great service, and they do a good job of it.
Oh, they certainly do, and I'm looking forward to the next release, because we're getting Imola. They've definitely confirmed that track's coming, but they always bring something out that normally surprises the membership.
Yeah, well, let's hope that the hoax not hoax dirt track series be true. Maybe that might be the one that's next in the pipelines there, Bernie, to come out, and a bit of dirt track racing. Personally myself, I think it'd be fun, a bit of difference, and it's also going to generate more users. I think you're going to see an influx in iRaces, and it'll be interesting to see, that's for sure. It's just see Hayden Burns throw that rough up on 2 wheels going over some bollards, so it'd be great to see.
Yeah, it certainly will be, and I know a lot of guys like their dirt racing, so something to look forward to. I'm not sure if it'll come this release, but I reckon they'll have it out by the end of the year.
Oh, well, they've already scanned a track, so obviously, they've got a track scan, which was William Crow's raceway, and I think they even scanned Eldora Raceway, which is another famous track owned by a NASCAR driver by the name of Tony Stewart. So it'd be cool to see it. Like I said, I like the dirt track racing, so much so I went on Saturday night as well. I went to the local speedway to watch some sprint cars run around there. So you know, it's cool fun. It's awesome bit of racing. It's hard racing as well. So it'd be good to see it come on iRacing.
Yeah, definitely will be. And sorry, folks, for that. Someone rang my doorbell and I had to go and answer the door. But I heard everything you said, Adrian.
Yeah, no worries, Benny. I'll believe you while we're on air. After air, I won't believe a word. But anyways, moving forward, yeah, look at Scott here at the moment. He's definitely broken away now. I'll just bring up the telemetry here to see how much he's gapped Hayden at the moment, which is quite a bit, I believe. He's 4 seconds. That's a big gap, and Hayden's starting to get attacked here by Nathan, which is in a HPD, but. He should wrap him up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? When these HPDs catch them, it's a matter of where they catch them. You can see there he hasn't slowed Hayden down too much, which is good. He gave him plenty of room, and the HPD's through, and hopefully he can get a bit of a tow down this back straight.
Yeah, it looks like Nathan Connor here has had a hard night there. They've actually, that was for position, would you believe? So HBT just moving on. Hayden Burns there for position, so moved up into 20 seconds. So that shows you how rough they've had it tonight and moved up. The other car that I did mention had a hard time was TD Racing. But it looks like I might have missed him. He was working his way up there at some stage, Bernie, but maybe they've dropped out again, and that'd be a shame for those guys. They are second in the championship at the moment.
Yeah, I saw them down further. I'm not sure what happened to them, but they've got a fair bit of work to do to get that car back up towards the pointy end. But I guess at this point they'll probably be looking at just getting as many points as they can.
Yeah, that'd be the key. It's just trying to get some points, and unfortunately that means to get out there and keep racing, but maybe they're in the pits. I've just got to check where they are. Oh yeah, they're on track, just trying to pop up there. It's a bit hard at the moment. There you go, they're in 9th, so doing okay at the moment, Bernie. So in a bit of trouble. They're one lap down, so it's not too bad, and I believe they're only like 6 seconds behind 8th at the moment, so possibly can get up into whatever position they are, because my telemetry's changed again.
As it does. But yeah, at the moment, Jake Maloney in the 1-1-10, you know, this guild of Australian young stars, it sounds like some sort of role-playing game guild these guys are set up. But I'll tell you what, 55 seconds is a gap back to the 1-1-8. Redback Racing with Phil Hobbs driving that car. Well, actually, no. Sorry, they're 4th. 27 seconds back to Team TTL with Josh Rogers in the car.
Yeah, good to see the telemetry is working really, really well there. Just viewers, it's just the information that we get, so unfortunately sometimes our telemetry will play up on us, and we might get the wrong information sent to us, but generally it's okay. It's just a lot of cars on one track, and I'll tell you what, it's a lot of information that we're getting sent to us at the moment, isn't it, Bernie?
Yeah, it certainly is a lot of information. A bit more information here. The 1-1-10, the Class A leader and race leader, has had a warning given to them for barging or impeding the 363. And the 363 is Swift Racing. As we can see, one of the Corvettes parked on the side of the road there.
And that's going to happen time to time throughout this race, isn't it, Bernie? Just the guys are just overstretching it, depending on their limits, how well they've gone. It looking like everyone's pitted. Some guys have actually gone through twice now as well, so some of those will be damaged and had to get a quick repair as well. So be interesting at the moment. I believe the Corvette should be looking at their next stop, Bernie.
I'd say they would be looking at it very shortly, but I tell you what, Adrian, I think it's time for our dinner break, isn't it? It's 6:30, and don't know about you. You getting hungry yet?
Yeah, I'm smelling a roast lamb at the moment, which is making salivate in the mouth. So yeah, it's getting that time.
So viewers, that concludes part 1 of our broadcast of the Monza 4-hour for the Australian Endurance Championship. We will be back at precisely 7:30 and to then cover this race to the finish tonight. And as we see the 110 loop it, oh dear, this is race leader too. We'll hang on a minute. Yes, he's got it pointing the right way. So we'll be back at exactly 7:30 to give you part 2 and broadcast this race to the end tonight. So Adrian, you can go and have your roast, and I'm going to have my cold pasta salad.
That sounds a very healthy option there, Bernie. It'd probably do you a wonder of good there, and I didn't even cook the roast, so I'm getting really spoilt tonight.
Lucky man. Alright, we'll see you back here at 7:30 and we'll call it from the end at that point.
No worries.